is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip-off. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man-to-man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say, basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. 360 dunks and pick and rolls. And we're gonna watch it every day till they raise the Larry O. Hard fouls and hook shots. A dagger three and hack a shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say's a gag. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back. Basketball is back, Jack.
Oh, we did it, everyone. We made it to Friday. Give it up for Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Give it up for Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Look at this crew we have here today. We have Roy and Jeremy and Tony and Trista and Juju. I don't know if this crew's worked together before. And out west, of course, we have Dave Damashek. Hello, Dave. How are you this morning?
What's happening, Miami? What's happening, America? I'm ready to roll. We only have, at most, I think, 16 total games left between the NBA playoffs and the Stanley Cup. Then we enter the abyss of just baseball season. But in the pre-show little discussion there, I'm picking up that you guys are not getting bogged down with those playoffs so much as you are the eternal chase for Miami and the Heat to get a little bit better. Can they add Giannis? Can they add LeBron? Can they add both?
Look at you.
Discussion this morning.
Look at
listen,
you.
I'm tuned into what you guys are talking about.
That's right. Before we get to all that good stuff, and of course last night you had the San Antonio Spurs force a Game 7. We're getting a Game 7. Has this even been a good series? I don't even know for sure. But I do want to start asking you here. So tonight here locally, all right, in Palm Beach, is the first of two nights that Dave Matthews Band is playing tonight here in West Palm. And I think we talked about this like a week ago, right? Mm-hmm. My wife, they're my wife's favorite, and we used to go every year to go see Dave Matthews Band. We haven't gone in, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 years at this point. And while they're still her favorite, it's not like a must-see for her every year anymore. But I'm wondering, I'm considering, do I surprise her? Do I surprise her where I buy tickets and she gets home from work today and I'm like, get in the car. Because it takes an hour to get there, all right? So get in the car. I'm taking you to Dave Matthews Band tonight. And there's part of me that's like, oh, my God, she'll be so excited. That's an amazing surprise, you know? But then there's another part of me, it's like, I've never done anything like that before where I already got your bags packed. We're surprised. We're going to New York this weekend. Like, I've never done anything like that, like a surprise trip. Dave, have you ever done anything like that where you're surprising your wife? We're going away for the next 2 nights or something. She has no idea. I've never done anything like that before.
Yeah, maybe nothing so grand as pack your bags or I packed them for you. We're headed to paradise. But yes, you're on to something philosophically. I call it amateur hour like people do New Year's Eve. That's what I consider Valentine's Day. Listen, the man has prescribed for you when it's time to be romantic. Fa and double fa is what I say. I say buy the flowers when they aren't expected. Buy them when all the amateurs out there ain't doing it because it's required by the man. Do it because it's in your heart, because it makes your lady feel special. That's how you stand out. I like where your head's at here, Zaslow.
My mic was not working, or I would have just slapped you down.
Oh, we would have heard from you earlier.
Okay. I would have slapped you down
Wow.
earlier. The abyss of the summer, Dave, is actually not just Major League Baseball. It's
I
the
guess we have
WNBA.
soccer.
It's the WNBA as well.
How dare you, Dave?
Paige Beckers, AZ Fudd. Juju, can you get him? Get him. Tell him more.
Exactly. Bop, 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 bop. Don't
Zageki.
hold up so fast, Brother Dave. The WNBA is as interesting as it's ever been. Caitlin Clark is flopping her ass all up and down the court. It's time to tune in this summer, Dave.
Tell everyone where they can tune in. Of course, Alley Oop. Go ahead. Go ahead. Do it.
AlleyOopShow.com. We're also on the Le Batard Network on YouTube on Fridays, Tuesdays and Fridays. We also have Good Follow every Thursday. We're talking about all the basketball, women's and men's. Dave, can you just clue in for a second? Okay, just clue in a little bit.
Listen, I love it. It's like we say, we have a lot of real estate in front of us as soon as these two
You said there
playoffs
was
are
no
over.
real estate. You said it was
Well,
the
I
abyss.
know. But you know what? Like the late, great Jerry Orbach says at the end of Dirty Dancing, when I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong, and I am amending my previous
He was right.
remarks
He was
here.
right, though.
I'm with you. Also, on Football America, if we're talking about this sort of thing, here's what my focus is going to be on. Sure, WNBA and World Cup and all the rest of it, but also
baseball.
Bert Breer. Yeah, I mentioned baseball
Good
at the very
sport.
top there, Taché. But, right, listen, Football America, we're talking with Bert Breer from Sports Illustrated, and we go back and forth on, and he leads me to believe that Myles Garrett is not going to be a Cleveland Brown. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay,
You have to
that's a
listen
good
to Football
tease.
America coming up today.
Tony, have you ever done anything like that before for the wife? Hey, let's.
I'm sure I've done a lot of great things, incredible things. Just ask her. I
So many
I
you
don't
can't even
remember
think.
right off the top. Oh, you know
Who'd
what?
know?
No, I would know. I just remembered.
Gave us the
our-
old neck scratch.
Our second Valentine's Day. Me and my wife are high school sweethearts, so we've been together for 17 years. So it's been a
Wow.
long time of things that I've done, incredible things.
So
that
what
I've done.
sense is you like 14, 15?
We started dating. I think she was 16. I was 17.
Be careful.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, we were both juniors in high school. It was
Good for you.
birthday that had happened
understand.
already. Whatever. Long story short, second Valentine's Day, my parents had this like little flat roof, like a little terrace outside of the house, and I put a table up there. Right? And I think I've told the story on the show before. I put a table up there, and then I blindfolded her, and I drove around town. We picked up food. We went back to my parents' house. She doesn't know. Dave, listen to this. It's going to get better. She doesn't know where she is, right? She's blindfolded. She's like, oh, my God, I don't know what's happening, whatever. We get off my parents' house. I have her climb a ladder blindfolded. And then I have her climb the pitch of the roof, an A pitch of the roof, up and down, obviously me holding her. We had recently done the roof, so the grip was good, Dave. I don't know if you're,
Okay.
Okay, just making sure, because so you gave me a face there. So I brought her back up, brought her back down. We sit on the thing, overlooking like the neighborhood and everything, the stars and the moon and everything. Undid the blindfold, and she started crying, and I was like, "Aren't I the greatest person ever?"
Wow, how about that?
I think she was crying because she thought she was finna be in Paris or something. She was like, my damn, she's on the roof.
Or she's petrified. What did you bring me to the edge of death for? What, yeah.
Well, she didn't know it
I
was the
guess
edge of
that's
death.
nice.
She had no idea. She just knew that we were going up and down and on a ladder, so she had no idea.
So I don't know. Like,
Do it.
should I do
Yes,
this?
of
Because
course.
it could also backfire. Where what if I do it and I explain? Like, it's Friday. It's the end of the week. Normally on a Friday, end of the week, you come home from the long work week. She works hard. You come home from the long work week. It's like I can't wait to just crawl into bed and watch my shows and relax. And I say to her, no, we're getting in the car and we're driving to West Palm Beach and we're going to a concert. Like, the worst case scenario is I do that and she's just like, she's tired and she doesn't want to do it, Like, so that part worries me a little bit, Tony.
That's why you got to go and kind of like plant the seeds a little bit ahead, right? Have you planted the seeds yet or not? It's like, hey, babe, Dave Matthews.
A little
there.
bit, a little bit.
This
Dave
could
Matthews, what do you
backfire,
think?
and we
It could.
We were workshopping behind, and Jeremy didn't think so. And he's like, "In what scenario for you,
Well,
Trista?"
because Jeremy's like, Jeremy comes off as like, he loves romance.
He
So
does.
he
Yeah.
doesn't believe that it could backfire in any way.
And I said, it could be absolutely backfire. And he goes, "When could it backfire to you?" And I go, "I'm on my period.
Yep.
I've got cramps.
Right.
Or I'm
That
right
was my
there.
one concern
I've
for
got
you.
a headache. I don't want to leave. I want a heat pack on my
Like, here's
stomach.
also the thing,
I don't
and-
want to leave anywhere.
Here's also the thing at our age, okay? I'm 45 years old. My wife is several years older than me. I would never give out her exact age. She'd be
Good
very
for
upset
you.
about
Good
that.
for you.
And here's the thing, like, at our age, and Dave, you can understand this, right? If you're going to a concert, you have to mentally prepare that. Like, at the
Definitely.
start of your day, when you wake up, you have to mentally prepare for what this day is about, right?
Yeah, you do, and I wonder if you then have to figure out what stuff you're going to bring along with it to enhance the potential experience. Like, do you have to bring
Like mushrooms?
Well, I mean, yeah.
It is Dave Matthews
I was
Band.
thinking. Yeah, I mean, you do want to take to get her in the mood a little bit, but listen, the big picture is, it wasn't even last year, but the year before, I went to both of my sons, and this is just this isn't meant to be sexist. It's just about what their interests are. My two sons like baseball, and the girls do not. And so I went to their respective schools. I picked them up. I said, I got to talk to you. Oh, your dad's here. They come out. Yeah, like, what's going on? Like, we're going to Chavez Ravine. I mean, they flip for it. It's the greatest. To pull them out of school. I mean, I get you. It's a little bit different station in life, and there is a chance that she is exhausted by toiling for the man all week. I hear you. I like the spirit of it. I think she'll appreciate it. I think it's worth it to take the shot.
How much are the tickets?
Okay, concert tickets are super expensive.
But, like, what are the cheapest tickets?
Well, that's not what we would be doing.
I
Zach
understand
doesn't
that.
do cheap tickets.
Cheapest tickets, what are we talking about? You know, if we go, we're going to sit right up front. Like, we're going to sit close. So if I want to do that, we're talking probably something like $400 or $500
Yeah,
pop.
that is expensive. Because I was gonna say you get the cheapest ticket.
No.
You enjoy. No, hold on. You get a cheaper ticket. You enjoy a little night out on the lawn,
Right.
And at an amphitheater, and if the answer is, I don't know, you know what, honey, it's okay. Let me curate a night for us at home. You got a backup plan. And now the romantic gesture of I wanted to treat you to something that was yours,
a lot of
but
work.
I've also right. So
The backup
that's
plan
why
is I
you're
watch
you.
Canadiens and Hurricanes. That's the backup plan tonight.
Cool, good.
Or a powerful lovemaking. What about that?
Powerful?
Don't think of Cody, though.
That sounds like Pound Town.
A vigorous lovemaking session.
Jeremy, you were not here yesterday.
Jeremy?
Yeah, that's probably a
interesting
no.
day not to be here.
Jeremy, you weren't here yesterday, so you know what? You have some observations from yesterday?
I do. I was listening to the show and thinking of some stuff. So, just from the top, cool to find out how Dan feels about Stu. That was
all
fun.
right, right?
Yeah, that was fun.
Did
That
the
was fun.
audience appreciate that? I think
Sure
so.
seemed like it.
I think from what I saw, because I see some stuff. I think from what I saw that a lot of the audience appreciated a little bit of what's going on there.
Yeah, I think it was nice to have a little bit of information. Nice for me personally.
Yeah, by the
I
way,
haven't
like-
heard any of that.
Yeah, by the way, like when we say something like that, it's not that, hey, nice that you're now tuned in a little bit to the things that we know.
Nope.
I don't think that's the case at all.
Didn't know any of it.
Right.
Really liked Greg's follow-ups, by the way. Cool that he's a journalist.
Oh, well, I mean, he's
Well done.
peppering him with questions.
Also, Dan's tone might have sucked, but it was, his overall point on the Jackson Dart stuff was interesting. I think everyone that I know that watches our show considers Greg the star.
Yeah.
I was very surprised by your wife's opinion there.
Really?
We need an update on that, by the way.
We said
More to
the
come
word.
later.
We said the word "cuck" 14 times.
A lot.
A lot.
By the way, for everyone out there, yes, who keeps tweeting me the picture. Yes, I have seen the picture of the shower cuck.
I was going to.
Why do they send that?
I was going to send
But
you
why
that.
do you, Zaz?
The cuckwarium, apparently.
I
it's
was going to
called.
send it to you, and then saw your tweet saying that you'd seen it
Yeah,
before I could
I've
even
seen
send
it,
it to you.
everyone. I've seen the cuckwarium. All right, Dave. Why are they sending it to me? I mean, who?
Yeah, why? Are you a cuck though?
Yeah, he's a cuck.
No, everybody.
Listen.
Everybody knows I'm not a cuck.
Listen,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
going to tell you
That's
this right now. I know for sure that any man who is as obsessed about not being a cuck as
really?
you
Yeah.
has a secret cuck kink that may be inside very
Horrible.
deep. Pause, but it's there if you're dreaming about it.
Dave, okay, so that was where it originated from a few months ago. I had a dream that mine was different from the really big important. I had a dream. I had a dream that my wife was in bed with another man. I was in the room. Okay, I was in the room. I didn't like it, and that man I revealed was Billy Crystal.
I'm sorry, who's
Now
that?
I thought I was up to speed, and I was just trying to refresh it for maybe new listeners. I did not know that Billy Crystal was the lover.
Yeah.
In your dream.
Yeah,
City slicker.
it's so stupid.
That's humiliating.
Yes, Yes, it's so stupid.
Slick that city.
Is it better if it's Billy Crystal or what's his name, Aquaman, or Joe Manganiello, or somebody like that?
Someone manly, you're saying.
Some strapping dreamboat
Right.
guy.
No, I
Is it
think
better
it's-
to be like, I could probably beat that guy up if it came
No,
to it? And
I
bet
think
you
it's
could beat up
worse.
Crystal.
I think it's worse that it's Billy Crystal. Yeah, because it's like Jason Momoa. I mean, that's a very attractive man. Billy Crystal. I never understood that way. Like all in all these movies, it could be in Forget Paris, or it's When Harry Met Sally. Like Billy Crystal he's pulling in some really good-looking women, and like Billy Crystal.
Being
he's
funny. Being funny.
Yeah, all right.
Mama from the
Funny.
train.
Nice.
All right. I guess. Yeah, throw Mama from the Train. What a movie.
Speaking of all of this, Chris, when I come home drunk, the last thing I'm thinking about is imaging. Hey, happy belated birthday, Trista.
Thanks.
I didn't know about that. Scheduled texts, they kind of rock, but the way David does
I
that
didn't even
is
know that
like
that's a thing.
It's crazy behavior to
didn't even
schedule
know.
an entire conversation out because you think you can predict what the other person is going to say because you
Yeah.
can't take the time to read their text messages is the behavior of a psychopath.
And that's his girlfriend that he's doing
It's
that to.
crazy. I can't believe he admitted that out loud. And Tony, your observation that would be a George Costanza plot line
good.
is one of the most observant things we've
Thank you.
ever said on this show. I thought
Thank
that
you,
was
appreciate it.
amazing.
That was good.
And
Good work.
speaking of Juju, Flopperation. Oh my God, Flopperation was right there, and a tremendous observation there. You really loved Operation Zaz, and that's because Operation was aspirational for young Jewish kids.
Is that right? Oh, that
we were
makes
learning how to
sense.
be doctors.
You're right.
It was put right in front of us.
What happened
for
to
that.
both of you guys?
Well, it wasn't smart enough. We were talking
Zaz,
about
more upsetting, Billy Crystal or Taché? What would be, in fact, what about the everybody there right now? What would be more upsetting to you?
No, it'd be far.
Crystal, or you pick, or a random selection of somebody you're looking at right now, Zaz.
It'd be far more upsetting if it was Taché.
Why?
Because I have to see you every day.
Okay, just making sure for the reasoning. So a no-hitter versus a no-hit game. I think that's how we can create the distinction here. Someone throws a no-hitter, that's the individual accomplishment. But as a team, you can complete a no-hit game.
I think you could just
Maybe
say
that's the way to do it.
You just say the team, the Astros, pitched a no-hitter.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with
but
that?
I get why Greg Cody has a gripe with that, and I'm just trying to help create a distinction for him. So if it's a no-hit game, maybe that's the team effort. Trista at one point said the barackification of something, and just careful. I love that Zaz identified Robert Pattinson as the Twilight guy. Yeah. Just considering all the different things he's done since, it just made me very happy.
I mentioned Batman.
I also am really a huge fan of the fact that Pablo and Amin and Samson and that entire crew won a Pulitzer and has done really amazing work, and they are still 3 Emmys short of me.
Out of bounds.
Amin, thank you for saying that pitch clock is not something that we need to go to reluctantly
yes.
or segregated or annoyingly or calling it cock. I appreciate that. And also, Munetaka Murakami, we brought him up on the pitch clock as someone who was 1 home run shy of tying the rookie record. He now has the rookie record from home runs before June. He broke Mark McGwire's record. He has 20 home runs before June. Guy's amazing.
Anything else?
That's it.
Very good, Jeremy, with some observations from yesterday. So did you guys see this? And, of course, Pablo Torre finds out, has been all over this. This Terry Rozier. Who knew he was such a bad apple? Terry Rozier yesterday. So federal prosecutors filed new charges against Terry Rozier. Prosecutors say Rozier took a roughly $100,000 bribe to exit early from a March 2023 Hornets game. Now, it wasn't with the Heat, but a March 2023 Hornets game so that a group of sports gamblers could win bets on his props. It's in The Athletic, New York Times, all the details there. And I think the biggest takeaway from this new information is we still have a month until the NBA draft, which is more than enough time for Adam Silver to give the Miami Heat their first-round pick back. It's more than enough time. You know, you heard Pat Riley last month at his State of the Union address where he made it very clear the Heat did not agree to that second-round pick that Adam Silver's given them. That is not what the Heat would have done. The Heat are not okay with the whole situation, but also they're not putting up a stink, at least publicly, because there's nothing they could do. That was a lot of words were jumbled together there, but I hope you understood what I meant.
You fought through. I liked it.
Yeah, thank you. And there is still a month to go until the draft where Adam Silver, who we all know is a nothing, your classic nothing, Adam Silver has a month to decide to do the right thing. The Hornets knew there was an FBI investigation. The league knew there was an FBI investigation. And they still allowed the Heat to not know any of this info and give up a first-round pick. You got a month. You got a month until you could do the right thing.
Do you think that the Heat should actually get the Hornets' first-round pick for taking somebody off their hands in the middle of an investigation?
So the Heat should get their own pick back.
Yes.
And then also get the Hornets pick
Yes.
because you did us a favor.
Correct.
By taking this.
You're
that's
a negative
an
asset.
That's an interesting way to look at it. I'm not gonna be a greedy pig. Okay? I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I'm not gonna be a greedy pig here. And I'm just gonna say, you know what? Give the Heat back their first-round pick. I'm still keeping that second-round pick. All right? Still going to keep that you gave us a few weeks ago. But the Heat, you get your first-round pick back. We wipe our hands clean. We call it a day. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. That's it.
You now have the ability from the Board of Governors to intervene and take away picks from people.
Oh, that's right. He gave himself all this power with the new
he has
draft
all of this
format.
extra. Yeah, he has all this extra power.
That's
now
right.
Exercise it at the right time.
That's right.
Is the public silence from the Heat an indication that maybe quietly that they're trying to reach Commish Silver? No.
The public silence is they're a classy organization, and that's not how they do business. They don't fight these things in public.
That's what I'm asking. Do you think that they're back channeling right now to Silver and saying, "Come on, right's right"?
My guess would be that they probably tried that. Like over a year ago, I think they probably tried, or it was the beginning of this season that he got taken away, right? I think they probably tried that, months ago, and they realized it's going nowhere. And I guess you're asking with this new information, do they try again? My guess is no.
The question is, can it be done retroactively?
Yeah, you're coming at it as a man of justice and also a Heat fan, but as a man of justice primarily. This isn't plausible in the real world though over the next 4 weeks, right? They're not going to do it.
No, they're not going to.
The right thing to do.
No, I mean just like the Canadiens are not going to beat the Hurricanes tonight. They could. They're not going to. It's the same thing here. Like the commissioner is not going to give the Heat their pick. He could. It's allowed. But he's not.
You're just trying to talk it into existence. That's all. Yeah, I got you. Okay.
I just want to remind everyone how much bullshit it is that the Hornets knew, and they still decided it's okay for us to take a first-round pick for a player who is under federal investigation and not tell anyone, and that the league knew, and they saw it happening and was okay with all of it. I just want to remind everyone that that's if you want to know what the bullshit is, that's the bullshit. That's all. I want to let everybody know that.
If that was the criminal law, they would definitely be indicted on the RICO because either theft by receiving or you coordinated this, you pulled up to the house,
you were in the car.
You feel me? So yeah, I agree with you, Zaz.
It's like going on a date and someone doesn't disclose their STD.
Just like that. That's exactly what I was thinking, Trista.
Spot on.
Now, if we could laugh about something real quick. On a less serious note. You guys know Mario Chalmers, champion guard for the Miami Heat. Mm-hmm. Believes he was the best player on that team. All right, he really does. Believes he was the best player on those champion Miami Heat teams. And here's Rio on the OG's show. That's Mike Miller and Udonis Haslem and Mario Chalmers. Actually, speaking fact here. He believes that that the Big Three was actually built around him. Give us a listen.
I was the only person signed on the Heat. Like, there was nobody else on there. Yeah. So they built the team around me.
This motherfucker crazy, ain't it? I told you. I got this. That's crazy. They built the team around me.
Y'all heard that, right? Y'all heard that, right?
He dead ass
Rio said he had a conversation with Riles, and he said, we're building this team around you. That what you said?
Yeah, I told Pat, I need Bron, I need UD, I need T-Ready,
Man,
I need all these pieces.
He dead ass serious, dog. He is not lying.
He believes he was the best player on the floor anytime he was out there. But to Rio's credit, he is factually correct. He was the only player under contract in that 2010 offseason. He was the only player who was on the Heat going into that offseason. So if he wants to say that he believes that the team was built around him, all right, who might disagree, right?
You kind of need that delusional confidence if you're a guy who's 6'3", a little bit slow, did have a massive shot in the NCAA tournament, but
one of the all-time great tournament, game winners.
But you're not a super athletic guy. You're not all these super, high-tier athlete kind of guys, and then all of a sudden you have the confidence, you hit a couple big shots, you got it.
I want to play something. It would
leave you with a weird chip on the shoulder, though, right? Think back when the Ravens won that Super Bowl 47 against the Niners, and it was very quickly, despite Joe Flacco having the that 6-week stretch and everything, it was all about Ray Lewis. That was the whole thing, and then Tom Brady wins that Super Bowl in Tampa Bay, and it really is almost hard to summon anyone else who was relevant on that team besides Tom Brady. It would establish a weird chip on your shoulder, right? You're a multimillionaire, a high-end athlete, but nobody ever discusses you. It's all about the big three. It's as though no one else was even on that team outside of Miami. That's how we perceive.
Well, and they were always They were always yelling at him. They were always yelling at him in front of everyone. It wasn't like when you yell at one of your teammates in practice, No. They were always yelling at him on the court during the game for everyone to see.
It would kind of suck, yes. I'm sure every question that Mario Chalmers, or 90% of them, had to do with what's it like playing with the big three? What's LeBron? Well, yeah, everything is about other people. And it's a weird thing if you have spent the preceding decade and a half as a high-end athlete being recruited and drafted and all that. Everything's about you. Suddenly, like I say, you would have a weird sense of self-esteem at some point when the only questions you're getting are about your teammates.
Dave, are you paying attention at all? Of course, Football America, new episode today. Are you paying attention much to OTAs, minicamp, all of that going? New old faces and new places. Are you paying attention to all of that?
Hey, that's my gimmick.
Of course I am. I'm fascinated. One of the more interesting new arrangements is Mike McDaniel ditching out, or I think he was shown the door, from your neck of the woods and moving across Football America and landing in Los Angeles to coach up the Los Angeles Chargers offense, helmed by Justin Herbert. Yes, fascinating.
How is the Dolphin fan, like if the Chargers offense takes this massive leap this year, which I think Mike McDaniel is going to be a really successful offensive coordinator. I don't think he was a head coach. I think that there are some coaches who aren't head coaches but can be great coordinators. You've seen guys like Norv Turner, guys like Wade Phillips. You've seen this. Steve Spagnuolo. Like, these guys are out there. All right. I think Mike McDaniel is going to wind up being one of those guys. He's not a head coach, but even though he had some modicum of success, but he's going to be a great coordinator. Are Dolphin fans going to be angry if – because I want to have the Tua conversation as well, but because that's a little bit easier to answer, I think. But are Dolphin fans going to care if the Chargers offense takes this huge step forward and, that was your coach and you fired him? Like, are Dolphin fans going to care? Because my guess is I don't think it's going to matter. I think the part that's going to be frustrating about that is – not only is it the Dolphins' former coach, but more importantly, he's doing it with the quarterback they passed on for Tua. That's the combination there, right, Juju? That's the part that, not the McDaniel part, but it's that McDaniel, look at what he's doing with Herbert. That's the guy the Dolphins should have drafted.
1,000%, because that was the big debate. Should Tua, Herbert, and that first year, everything they was doing was side by side in comparison. So if Mike McDaniel goes to the West Coast and has success, it's gonna sting.
Because otherwise, I don't know. I'm not upset at Mike McDaniel. I'm not mad at Mike. It didn't work out. Okay, time to move on.
maybe it's because of the guy in the helmet versus the guy in the sideline in the headset, and Mike McDaniel's idiosyncratic, and so how much you're going to care if the Chargers go to the Super Bowl. By the way, Super Bowl 61, Dave's initial pick for Super Bowl 61, Chargers v. Rams. Once upon a time in Hollywood. I think that's going to actually happen. It's in SoFi. 2 home teams playing in the same home stadium. That would be awesome. Yes, that's what I'm trying to talk it into being. In the meantime, yeah, I mean, Roy knows what's going on with the Vegas Knights, and Mitch Marner, who was, a critical figure to the Toronto Maple Leafs in their pursuit of the Cup, and he was circled more than anyone else on that Leafs team during the era for being the cause of their failures in the playoffs. Now he goes to Vegas and is playing lights out. Now they're in the final. Leafs fans are very upset right now, and I think it's not angry at Marner so much as it is what's going on in our house, that this was such a colossal failure, and now he goes to Vegas and is a superstar once again. I think you are going to have some feelings about that and what it says about your favorite pro football team.
I'm totally good. I won't be upset at all if McDaniel has success. I won't be upset that Stephen Ross fired him and he's having success there. I won't be upset that McDaniel personally is having success, as if I, don't like him. I look at Tua, and that one I feel differently about.
Well, that's what I was going to ask about Mike McDaniel. Is it feels like the idiosyncratic nature of him was like cool and cute when he was a coordinator. You've got the Jordans.
No, but we liked it the first couple years when he was head coach too.
And the Capris and all of these different things that he has to say. And then is he on drugs? Is he recovered from drugs? Because he sounds kind of nuts. But once you're the man on the tippy top, we don't really want weirdos that much. I feel like coordinators can be weirdos. Head coaches, Harbaugh's the only weirdo head coach that I think is acceptable right now.
But he wins. When you win, you can do whatever you want. You can almost do literally whatever you want.
We really liked McDaniel those first couple years.
That's the thing. When he's got the best offense in football, when Tua's throwing for 5,000 yards and Tyreek Hill's running up and down the field and everybody's great, 8 chins, oh my God, he's amazing. Yeah, it's really cool when he's quirky and weird. But Chris Cody said it. It's going to stop getting weird. It's going to start getting weird when you start losing, and that's what happened.
And when you lose, you're Adam Gase. You the goofball.
That's exactly right. And I don't remember, but obviously I wasn't in Miami at the time. Did anybody raise an eyebrow when Mike McDaniel was acting like Mike McDaniel at the height of that Dolphins, when you thought when they were hanging 60 on the Bills and otherwise? Did anybody say, he's a little bit of a weirdo, though, everybody?
Oh, no.
Everybody was in love with him,
yeah,
right?
No, everyone...
I felt that way across Football America. Look at this guy. All these type A personalities, hardos, Mike Vrabel types, and look at this nerd doing it.
Everyone was saying that, but we liked it. Everyone was good with it. And then it wasn't so cute when they weren't winning games after that, I felt guilty of that as well. I didn't like it anymore.
I like him. No, I still really like Mike McDaniel, and I'm rooting for him to have success because I felt like Tua was the primary reason that didn't work out.
Tua's a different story.
It felt like Mike McDaniel masked the issues that Tua had as a quarterback, built something around a guy and his specific skill set that he was able to tap into for a year there. But we talked about it, Tua's sort of show me the money, I'm the guy
I think
he walked
Tua,
around with after.
I don't know if Tua changed or if he had us fooled.
Either way.
But either one, he is not the guy that I thought he was.
Yeah, that's right. And so to watch Mike McDaniel have a level of success elsewhere, we got tired of the shtick toward the end.
It would not bother me if McDaniel
It wouldn't bother me at all. I wished that they would have kept him and just changed the quarterback out. I wish he was still there and they had Malik Willis.
How much of Tua's inability or ineffectiveness, though, can we actually just attribute to what we saw on live television? Him getting concussed, him throwing up West Side. I feel like that may have been
personality-wise, you're laughing at him throwing up West Side, obviously.
I've never heard
Salute
that
to
one
the West
before.
Side, by the way.
But personality-wise, if you want to attribute the play to the concussions, okay, but personality-wise, bothered a lot of us as well the last couple of years.
But that could be CTE
Could
also.
Could be.
He went
But
from,
you know what? I can't attribute everything we don't like about someone to maybe he has the thing that we cannot prove until if we study his brain after he dies.
But his personality changed. It was like a complete 180. And maybe that's money, but he was a gentle, kind. Even people who had worked with him on the agency side went from loving Tua to being like, he's a real pain in the ass.
And the stuff that I heard behind the scenes as well with him and McDaniel, like, I feel like Tua should be, like, eternally grateful to Mike McDaniel. Like have nothing but incredibly positive things, Dave, to say about Mike McDaniel.
I agree, and especially because the reason Mike McDaniel primarily, there are many things that are faulty about the Dolphins' operation, but number one is Mike McDaniel decided to marry himself to Tua, and that's why Mike McDaniel got fired ultimately. But if Tua goes up to Atlanta, and for all these concerns that you have, if the situation proves better in Atlanta, you guys are going to be sick about it. I can assure you of that. Yeah, if Tua the Falcons at 7-3, and that's the discussion we're having in November. And boy, they're going to win the division. And boy, resurrected an all new Tua now. He got out of that bad situation. You guys are going to be red in the face and angry about Tua even more than you are now, which I think is absolutely justified. And I do wonder, maybe it is the concussions, but otherwise, he does now play to me as just an ingrate. That my number one feeling about Tua from a distance is, man, you really, they gave you all that money. Mike McDaniel, it basically gave up his head coaching gig in support of you, and you're sort of glib. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be cool to go somewhere else from here.
It'd be dope.
It'd
be dope.
Weird, yes. Dope. That's what it was. I'm sorry. Yes.
Isn't it going to be super Dolphins fan and super Falcons fan when the Falcons do start like 6-2 and Tua is having an incredible season and Dolphins fans are like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. But then he gets hurt and completely nukes the Falcons season as well. So you've got both of the fan bases eating it.
Coming up today on the Alley Oop, my boy Wimby has had enough of all these fouls, and that's why they got it done last night. Or didn't.
But the Knicks, are they inevitable? Is everyone sleeping on them? And I think the reason, Juju, that we don't think they can get it done is just because their name is the Knickerbockers.
Adam Silver, get it together and lock in.
Lock in. We went off in the full episode.
Man, this full conversation was one for the books, bruh.
Your catchphrases. I heard there's some controversy around the. It's the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody. He is counting down his top 50 catchphrases of all time. It has been a successful months-long joke. What is the controversy surrounding your catchphrase list? What is the issue?
It's big. The controversy is that based on quality demand, the catchphrase countdown has suddenly increased from a top 50 to a top 60.
What?
That's
what?
right. And it's controversial.
Of course it is. You told us it was a top 50, and we told you it was something you were making up as you went along, and that you weren't going to get the numbers right. And now you just changed it.
He botched it to such a degree that there are so many good ones left that we're just pushing all the current
I knew that was going to happen, though. That's exactly what we were saying.
Your brain beating me.
How did this happen? What was the ruling? What did the committee get together and decide? How did it happen that it got expanded? Now, no one's going to complain about this because more catchphrases is great, but we told you this was going to happen, and we told you this was a sloppy list by you.
The others, they all learn from me.
Yeah, right.
No, I looked at all the catchphrases remaining, and there was only 14 left, but there were like 20-something good ones. So I'm like,
thank you.
Let's go.
Wait a minute. So how did you do it though? Are there now? Is there now a new list 50 to 60, or
No,
what are you doing?
everything that's been said is just like what was 50 is now 60.
Yes.
There were 14 left, and now there's 24
So we're
left.
not in the top 20
No,
anymore.
now we're at 23 and 24.
We were in the top 20 of the countdown, and now we're at 24.
I'm telling you, they're bangers though. They're just bangers
There
left.
is nobody that's actually upset about this development. Come on.
You've got to honor the list, though.
I'm telling you, I got a peek. I don't know the exact order, but I got a peek of what the top 10 looks like, and it is just banger after banger.
Yeah, Yeti hated it. He's against it.
Yeti thinks that we should just make him live with the world he gave
You
us.
should.
Like
I mean,
there's-
I asked you several times throughout this whole process. Have you thought this out? Have you planned out the list? You know that there are 50. You kept assuring me that you have it all under control.
Driver comfort is paramount.
He ain't wrong. You know, part of the beauty of me is a bit of serendipity, a bit of
You're the kind of guy.
unpredictability. And so the same is true with this list. Okay, whenever you do a countdown, Zaz, bank this information for your future. Whenever you do any sort of a countdown, controversy is good. You want somebody to say, that sucks, that should be lower, or that's, wow, I can't believe that's not higher.
So wait, so what used to be 50 is now 60.
Yes.
So we've gotten fraudulent rankings up to now. All the numerical rankings we've gotten up to now are all wrong.
He can give you the updated, like number 60, he can give you the update of whatever.
I know, but they're all, every previous incarnation of this that we have given the American public and internationally has been wrong.
I would say adjusted more than wrong.
Adjusted.
Maybe to Greg's credit, too, I've never heard of a top 60.
Thank you.
Well, how do we know it's not going to end up being 62 because he's going to think of two more on his way home because he didn't plan any of this
It
out?
would never be 62. It could bump to 65. It would never be a number.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Season finale of Euphoria this weekend. Trista, you ever seen Euphoria?
I saw the first season.
I've never seen it. So last night you had Game 6, Spurs and Thunder. Before we get to that, tonight is Game 5. It'll be the final game of the Eastern Conference Final in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I mean, come on. I dare you to disagree. Canadians, it's dead team walking. Canadiens, Hurricanes tonight, Game 5 in Carolina. Watch party, right, Roy?
Yes, the Hockey Show is hosting a watch-along for Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final. You can watch it on the Dan Le Batard Show YouTube page, or you can watch it on our YouTube page at The Hockey Show DLS.
They're going to crush them tonight, right?
Oh, no, the series is over.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the series is over, but are they also going to crush them? I think they're going to crush them.
Yeah, I think...
it feels like 5-1.
Yeah, I think the Hurricanes are going to end up covering tonight.
Man, like, it's so disappointing. The Canadiens got out to such a great start. They killed them in Game 1, but it feels like it has to be because Carolina had all the time off, right, Dave? Like what other explanation can you draw from the way that... And granted, look, Games 2 and 3 went to overtime, but still, like, the Canadiens, they couldn't get a shot on goal, in those games that they only lost by a goal in overtime. Like, the only Canadiens win, you have to chalk it up, right, Dave, to they had so much time off Carolina, and they were just, like, rusty, right?
Yeah, Football America regular Nick Costos was talking with him, and he assured me and everybody else that the Habs were going to win that series. And I said, au contraire. Yeah. The Bleu Blanc et Rouge are overmatched here, just straight up, let alone with the Canes rested up. Their very aggressive style of play was going to overwhelm the Habs. I remain bummed out for Buffalo fans, especially given that this is the tepid performance we get from their vanquishers. I mean, so this dream season that Buffalo almost had once again, not football, but this time hockey, that they almost finally get over, and the team that beat them is getting whipped in the next round. It's sad, and also sad for the NHL. I think it sort of invalidates on some level. I don't want to overstate it. Roy, how say you about this? But I don't think it's a great look for the credibility of the sport to have another President's Cup champ, the Colorado Avalanche, the best team in the league, to have that team get swept out. Listen, Cale Makar might be the best player in hockey. He's one of the top 3 players at minimum and all of that. But still, bad look for the league, right? To have Vegas, who hires John Tortorella on the eve of the playoffs, wind up in the final.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 13 years since a President's Trophy winner won the Stanley Cup. That was the 2013 Blackhawks. But what did John Tortorella do with 6 games left in the regular season that changed the Vegas Golden Knights around like
Just
that?
feels random.
Vibes.
I don't know that he did anything. Just feels random. So again, tonight, watch along, right?
Yep.
All
Watch
right.
along tonight. Oh, by the way, the Canadiens, the first 2 series that they had in the playoffs, went 7 games. They played 7 overtime games. So obviously, they are tired.
You think they're a little tired. All right. So, speaking of tired, that was the possible angle going into last night's Game 6, right, where Victor Wembanyama, who has never played this many games. I know he didn't play 82 regular season games, but still, an 82-game regular season. And last night was like close to game 100 overall then for the San Antonio Spurs. Super physical day off. Day off. And he shows up, in his best monk outfit. I mean, he was training with the monks, right? In the
I heard
offseason.
the Terminator music when I saw him walking. I heard.
Oh, yeah? He does come off as like he's different from most players today, where he really comes off as super serious and businesslike. And this is serious business. I don't care about the other stuff that's going on. I don't care about social media. I don't care about Twitch. I'm not talking to the media after Game 5 because I have to get ready for Game 6. And
oh, stop it.
Well, that's the excuse he's going to give, whether it's true or not.
We cannot be like, hey, I just was already locked in on Game 6, so I couldn't talk to the media. That is giving cover to a guy that we just already like. If that was somebody else, we would not be saying that.
If it was Anthony Edwards.
But my boy, I think he skipped it. He missed the mark last night. He should have skipped last night's post-game interview.
Facts.
Just because, this is what I'm on.
Well, but, okay, so that's interesting that you said that because, and this is my fault, I don't have the clip, but in the post-game interview, she asked him 2 questions, and he bounced. Like, after the second question, he gave his answer, he said, thank you, and he ran off. Like, so he's going to give the whole spiel that he's locked in, and he doesn't want to do this, and this is serious business right now. Whether it's true or not, he just comes off as different than most of these guys. And last night you saw he showed up. I mean, Juju thinks it was like the Terminator music. He's out there, in his best monk outfit.
Just a quick correction on that. He clarified after the game to a French reporter that this was actually for Eid al-Fitr, which is the Muslim holiday.
Oh, his outfit. You're saying.
That's what his outfit was for. I apologize if I didn't pronounce that correctly, but that's actually what this was for. Is for that time period, that holiday.
Dan doesn't pronounce Oregon correctly, so.
So Wembanyama, is he tired? He had the huge Game 1, Games 2 and 3, especially Game 3, bit of a drop-off. Has the huge bounce back in Game 4. Then Game 5, worst game of the postseason. And, all right, well, if he's tired, this series is over. Game 6, if he is actually fatigued, they have no chance. And he was pretty great again last night. You saw it from. He's the kind of player where you can kind of see at the start of the game. At the start of Game 5, it's like, oh, he's got nothing. And then at the start last night, three-pointer, floater. Like, he had, 13 points, I think, in the first quarter. It's like, oh, yeah, he has it tonight.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that needs to see the ball go through the rim early and often to be like, all right, I'm in a groove here. Like, sometimes shooters need that. All right, I saw 1 go in. I saw 2 go in. I got a free throw. I saw those go in. When he starts missing early, it's like, all right, he's trying to chase. He's playing the game from behind and trying to chase. All right, I need a 3 here. I need to get my guys going. And, I mean, he played sub 30 minutes. He played 28 minutes last night. Obviously had a great stat line.
It was a blowout.
I mean, when you have a 20-0 run to start the third quarter, nobody expected that. I'm sure that people that went to take a shower midway through the game came back and were like, wait, it was a 7-point game. It was an 8-point game. It's 25 now? What happened here?
Right, you mentioned he was tired. Yes, I think he was tired. The whole Spurs organization is tired of Chet Holmgren. Bro, I ain't never seen somebody get punked like they punking my boy. Devin Vassell, in your face, push you, and what's wrong with you? And on the other end, Carter Bryant, welcome to the show. You gonna flop and you want some fouls, SGA? Well, take these two. Call them, ref. You did. Salute.
I'll tell you, I think over the last 2 games, and granted the Spurs lost, they got blown out in Game 5. Spurs have kind of punked the Thunder the last couple of games. And I'm surprised that the Thunder are allowing them to get away with it. These are the champs, all right? And late in Game 5, you had Plumlee go out there and forearm shiver to the back of Jared McCain. Biyombo with the huge foul, too. All right, it was at the end of the game, but you kind of let him, all right.
Wemby called for it.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Okay. And then last night,
the enforcer.
Juju brings up Carter Bryant,
Nikola Topic, 1 ball.
Is a rookie. Carter Bryant's a rookie. And he's allowed to take shots at the back-to-back league MVP.
With no retaliation, by the way, from the
Thunder
Oklahoma City Thunder.
Do anything about it? That's a little bit... and look, Dave, you could shake your head, and I come from this place as well where that shit doesn't fly in hockey. That would... if you did that to the star player on a hockey team, on the champs, and it was a rookie who did it, they would wrap their stick around your neck. That's what would happen.
Hell yeah.
And it's like they got punked. They got punked last. How do you allow a rookie to commit what was reviewed for a flagrant foul on the league MVP? That was shocking.
Well, Shaq, notwithstanding, because of his largesse, got banged around real good at the start of this millennium. But for the most part, I can't recall. I guess Isaiah Thomas, as an old man, I remember watching him get knocked around by the Lakers and otherwise in the late 80s and trying to send a message. But, yeah, like you say, this is NHL kind of stuff. This is a different sport we're looking at here. But what really strikes me is something, again, that I talk about. Old people have to lionize the past, and I understand it. You want to swoon about the 60s Celtics and the 80s rivalry with the Lakers and Celtics and all of that. But I think people need to understand that the standard is much higher and much tougher for today's player. They go harder. All this load management and all of that is off-putting. But I do think every trip up and down the floor, they're going harder than guys were going several generations ago. They were sparing. They were holding something back, whereas today's guys are balls to the wall every trip up and down the floor, believe it or not. And also, 7-game series, you have to do that 4 times to win the title. That just wasn't true back in the late 60s and 70s. So the standard is higher, but it's all yielded this big question for me that I turned to Trista and Juju and everybody else with. What gives with the variance from game to game? This is all very fun to talk about as a soap opera, what goes on with SGA and Wemby and his legacy and the rough stuff and all of that stuff. But since game 1, every one has been a blowout. It's kind of unsatisfying to actually sit there and watch the 2.5-hour game, right?
Yeah, and I think what it is, if you look at just how the league has evolved, you're talking about a team like the Spurs shooting 41 threes in a night and the Thunder shooting 40. Now, you get 5 more threes. You get a 37% from 3 for the Spurs. That's an okay night, pretty good night. Sometimes it's 50%, though. And then you have the Thunder shooting 25% from 3. When you have that many threes being taken, one hot night, I think, versus one super cold night, and I think when you have it, and then things start to compound, right? Because if you're stepping into threes and you're up 15, you just have a little different swagger about you. You have a little lean with it, rock with it. When your butt starts to pucker and you're down 10, 15, 20, and your shot's not falling, I feel like that's just something that can compound a lot more. What you think, Juju?
Exactly, and I think what you said earlier, Carter Bryant is a rookie. Y'all allowing a rookie to take shots at the MVP. Y'all allowing Devin Vassell to push Chet, tell him about himself, walk off, and dare him to do anything. This is why I've lost belief in the Thunder moving forward. If the Thunder win, good luck with these Knicks, because these Knicks is going to do the same thing to you. Jose Alvarado, he going to punk Chet. He going to get in the game just to punk you. And I feel like this is what's wrong with them, specifically the Thunder.
Juju, put it on the poll. When you start hitting threes, do you start to have a swagger with it? And also, Juju, put it on the poll. When you're missing threes, does your butt start to pucker?
You also have to put in, do you have a little lean with it, rock with it? Yeah. That's also an important point. Yeah. But I want to challenge the Oklahoma City Thunder and the vets there, Alex Caruso, Lou Dort, guys that have been around the league.
I can't believe they allowed Carter Bryant to do what he did.
They allowed that with no retaliation
Couldn't
whatsoever. And I get that there is a spotlight for the next couple of plays on some sort of retaliation, but you got to go in the locker room. You got to go at halftime, and they got blown out in the third quarter, by the way. So I don't know what they said at halftime, but you got to go into halftime and be like, "Did you see this MFer? He pushed this guy right here. This guy who's a two-time MVP. Somebody's gonna do that to him. Who do we have that we could just go kill somebody over there? Right? Like that's the point. Chet's got to step up. Caruso, Dort." Anybody with a pulse in Oklahoma City, wake up, they're taking your shit.
Also, you made a good point, Juju. Shea gave you an AP and not the kind that comes with the Swatch watch. This is an expensive one. I think, though, what that means is that Lou Dort has emotionally been cucked. He sees Cason Wallace doing his thing. He sees Alex Caruso doing his thing. He's like, I'm supposed to be the man with the back muscles on top of my back muscles. That's the enforcer. But you offensively, my guy, don't have it. And so I think he's starting to see his pecking order go down and down and down.
Sure, but you know what'll change that? Throwing an elbow at Bryant's face.
Maybe he's feeling some kind of way against Shea.
Maybe how about you're part of this team still before they ship you out next season. You're still part of this team. You're still trying to go win an NBA championship. Take it on yourself. You haven't hit a 3-ball in a month? Perfect. Go take somebody out on a hard box out and make sure people feel what you got going on. The frustration that you got, go give it to somebody in the chicken wing.
Ayo.
I think it really shows how far removed we are from the NBA we used to be accustomed to. What I mean by that is we're all into this series. It's got great storylines. It's got drama, but the games are shit. You know, like the NBA that we used to watch before you had this massive variance and how fast the game was played and all of the three-point shooting, which certainly helps blowouts. This series going into a seventh game, we'd be saying that this is not a good series. You had one good game, an amazing game number one, but the other 5 games here have been terrible. But we are so far removed from an NBA playoff that has buzzer beaters and a bunch of lead changes in the fourth quarter, that just a tight game in the final few minutes, that now just going to Game 7, right, Dave? Just going to Game 7, this must be a classic series. And I guess if you want to call it a classic series because it's the real coming out party of Wembanyama, and it's the 2-time league MVP and the defending champion with the Thunder, and it is the 2 best teams in the league, and it is going 7 games. So people are going to call it a classic series, but in reality, it hasn't been great.
I completely agree. Obviously, as long as you aren't looking at the actual event, this is fascinating stuff. I mean, we're at an inflection point in the league. I mean, if the Spurs win this, it's going to be a long night of Wemby ruling over the NBA for at least you would assume for the next half decade or so, or OKC gets a shot at going back to back. Either way, great stuff, but. You know, the NFL doesn't really care very much when on Monday morning the discussion is about the big-time game, the primetime game is, boy, the officiating was terrible. But at some point, there's diminishing returns, and the buzz around the ascendance of Wemby and OKC and all of that the number one topic is, boy, SGA really flops a lot. That is the takeaway from these first 6 games, right? Is there any credible argument against that? That's what people are primarily talking about?
For sure, that's what they're going to talk about 1,000%. But I think the takeaway from last night's game is Jalen Williams, why are you back at this juncture?
They're trying.
You could take a game, take a beat, see how this one goes, rest that hammy, because I think that was the ingredient put into the sauce last night.
I mean, certainly they look back at it now, and it's like, all right, we should have waited an extra couple days.
Right, because Jerry McCain was playing at a high clip. You got Wiggins over there. You have other options to fill in on what he does, so I think that was the mistake. But can you imagine, right quick, not to switch it back, if UD was on the team,
I know, man,
and you saw Carter Bryant go at Jimmy Butler like
rookie.
this.
Also,
rookie.
Back to your point about like just Jalen Williams almost spoiling the sauce or the way that the gumbo was comprised. Remember when OG Anunoby was hurt? And they were playing the Pacers, and it was like, is OG going to play? Is he not going to play? And then he went out on that bum-ass hamstring, and then they went down like 20 instantly because OG wasn't right. That's what I think of when I think of Jalen Williams. Yo, if you don't have it 100%, that hammy needs to be wrapped up in heat and not in a uniform.
Who is – okay, so we got Game 7 tomorrow night, which, I mean, please, can it be a close game? I think Game 7 tomorrow night is so enormous for Wembanyama because while this has been a coming out for him because it's first time ever in the playoffs, the number 1 overall pick who's supposed to save this Spurs franchise has them in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. Like, this has been the coming out. But for Wembanyama, and we're all dubbing him, he's the best player in the league, he's the future of the league. If in your first time ever in the playoffs, against the defending champs, also 2-time league MVP, on the road, Game 7 to get to the NBA Finals, if he and the Spurs win that game, that is legendary shit. Legendary to win a Game 7 on the road at the champs in your first time ever in the playoffs. Legendary stuff.
He has to put up big points, though. They can't just win and him have like 0 for 5 from
but we
3.
know at this point, they can't win if he doesn't score huge. He was huge in Game 1, huge in Game 4, huge in Game 6. They have no chance of winning if he doesn't put up huge numbers. It's not like, they have to win and he has to be the reason for winning. That's the only way they win.
I mean, I think if De'Aaron Fox shows up to Game 7, though, that will be just as important because I feel like they got him for these spots. These are the exact spots where we thought De'Aaron Fox was going to shine. And he is yet to make an imprint on the series now. The high ankle is a rough injury to fight through, but him having a good Game 7 would be just as important as Wemby having one.
Not a perfect comp here, but Trista, I disagree with what you just said. How Wemby plays is, I mean, obviously, Zaz is right. It's unlikely the Spurs win if Wemby doesn't have a huge game. But if they survive by hook or by crook, Wemby benefits from that, his early legacy and all of that. The best thing that ever happened to Tom Brady was winning that Super Bowl against the Rams, even though he threw for 27 yards or whatever he threw for in that game, because the pressure was off of him before it was ever established to begin with. Those guys, as you get deeper into your career, you ever going to get over the hump? You ever going to be able to take care of business? Yes, you're a great star, but do you take care of business when the pressure is highest? That would be off of Wemby if he gets to. I'm with Zaz completely, and it really is besides the point if Wemby leads the way or if he's a supporting member. Maybe Fox has a huge game, and that's the reason they win it.
Yeah, but no, because listen, like when Harden had that shitty game, and he's had many shitty games in clutch moments, and he was 2 for 10 in that Detroit Game 7. People were like, well, yeah, Harden was still bad, and yet they still won. So I think there will be some level of narrative building. Yes, the Spurs have gotten over the hump, and maybe the pressure doesn't mount on Wemby as much as it has on other stars that haven't gotten it done. But he needs to put the exclamation point on it for it to be a legacy game for him.
I think the big question that I have at this point is which player between Wemby and SGA has a bigger moment ahead of them here. Because for SGA, like you look at what last year was, and you look at his finals performance and the way that the Thunder were blowing everyone out, and the fact that in that finals he shot 44% from the field, 24% from three. Now, he averaged 30 points, but he did get to the line quite a bit, and they were playing a team in a 5 seed that ended up losing Halliburton at the end. They easily could have lost that finals. Now you're facing a legend in himself and Wemby over there. You got home court advantage, and you're back-to-back MVP. Like, this is the moment you need to step up after a dreadful Game 6. Like, dreadful.
Gosh,
he was not effective.
I don't think he loses anything if they lose the game.
Really, I couldn't feel more the opposite. I feel like people are waiting to pounce on SGA because they have this feeling about him, which is like this grift of getting to the line and all these things.
But
and
you're going to think less.
You
You
give
think
it
people
up,
are going to think less of him if they don't win tomorrow? I don't think
they were an overwhelming favorite to win the championship this season. The way they started the season, where you're saying they're going to win
only
80
2 games better than the Spurs. They ended up being.
That's
2.
where it ends up being. But if you look at that if anything, that's the point, which is like this might be. You never know. The last grasps of what this is. Does Jalen Williams become the James Harden and he's now gone and you're trying to get to the next evolution? We always say these teams are going to be here forever, and Oklahoma is certainly set up in a way they weren't before with all these extra picks. But this is such a fascinating time for his legacy as well. Wemby has something he can go gain, but SGA has something he might potentially
Put it on the
lose.
poll, Juju. Who has more on the line tomorrow night, Game 7, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or Victor Wembanyama?
I just want to say for the record, it is definitely SGA who's got the curse of Sposta hanging on his shoulders as he tries to get up over Wemby. He's got the extra baggage of being the guy who's supposed to lead the way for the team that's supposed to win this series, and they better get it done because, we can talk about Wemby, and obviously he takes up most of the oxygen there, but, guys like Castle are only going to get better, and by next spring he is going to be a greater factor in the Spurs' success. We can almost assume that if I'm right, that Castle ascends, right, and Wemby gets a little bit better, and Fox and all of that, that's going to be your representative from the West. So OKC better do it now, because I think the window. Not because of anything they've done wrong, but because of the ascent of the Spurs, who are about to take over the NBA. This is their last chance to do it, I feel like.
I was talking with my brother last night when we were watching the game, and we were thinking about how in some ways when you're down to these last couple games, it's like a March Madness tournament. And then we were thinking, where would Wemby have gone to college if he wasn't an international player and he had been forced to go to college in America?
What school does he fit?
What school would he have chosen? And the immediate thought was Duke, right? Bright guy.
I don't think so.
French, villain.
Evil.
But I'm not, sure, if that's the route you want to go.
Fascist overlord.
I'm not sure what it would have been, because then it's like, would he have been the highfalutin, you know what, I'm going to go to Harvard and make Harvard a tournament team and, be the educated Frenchman. There are so many different options. Do you guys have any thoughts immediately that come to mind on where Wemby would have gone to college?
Yeah, I like that. What school does Wembanyama give off?
Because he grew up such a Spurs fan, Tony Parker jersey as a child, I think my boy would have went to somewhere like Wake Forest. Because Tim Duncan went to Wake Forest, and it's random. He can put him on the map. I think that's the answer.
That's a great one.
What about UCLA? A lot of great big men like Bill Walton have gone to UCLA. I'm Abdul-Jabbar.
I feel like I could have seen him at Gonzaga.
Really?
Him and Chet? No way.
He feel just
Gonzaga
because of his look.
Just to take Chet's spot, though.
I feel like he would go to a school like Gonzaga.
We don't think North Carolina, right? Like, no way it would have been North Carolina or Kansas.
No.
Like, it would have had to be something off the wall. There's no way he would have just, like, Duke is the most mainstream, but only because it's like the private school where there's like villains and stuff like that. UCLA because of the history. But specifically like, Bill Walton and Kareem, that's why we're thinking UCLA. Otherwise, there's no way it's a traditional blue blood.
Or maybe the sports gods got it right by sending him to San Antonio. Maybe he goes to Texas. The Spurs, what marks
I
their
could see
dynasty
Texas too.
or whatever you would call what they did. I mean, think about Duncan from the Bahamas and Manu, Spain,
Argentina,
Italy, Argentina. Sheesh. And Tony Parker from France. There would be some sort of sense from Wemby, like, Texas, Houston, Austin, very international. You may not know that across America, but Houston is among our most international cities. That might be a nice fit for Wemby.
What about BYU?
Yeah, I was going to say BYU. Yes.
Spending a lot of money.
I can see that.
If Wemby was in the pipeline, Danny Ainge and the rest of the crew from the Utah Jazz, they're going to spend even more than they're spending on
I could see BYU.
AJ DeBansa.
Yeah, I could see BYU. I like that.
Crazy.
What school would he have gone? Not like what, but like what would you have met? What would he look? What does he look like? Which school does he look like?
It's Duke. The answer is Duke. You close your eyes, you see him in that white and blue, and you're like, God, I hate him.
I don't know.
Right, you got
UK is our most mercenary college team, right? They just for one-off guys. I think it would be uninspired, and he'd be a wildcat, right?
Tomorrow's a great night, though. Game 7 tomorrow night. Spurs, Thunder. Also, of course, if you heard me and Mike Ryan yesterday, tomorrow, Triple A. You know about that Triple A? Triple A. That's right. Mask versus Mask. Original El Grande Americano against El Grande Americano. This is a huge pro wrestling weekend. Of course, Clash in Italy is Sunday afternoon. I know you'll be dialed in, Tony. Roman Reigns, Tribal Chief, Tribal Combat against Jacob Fatu.
Wow, incredible! Where's the Danhausen guy?
Oh, Danhausen, he's not on the card, but he'll be in Italy on Sunday. They're there for Clash.
He just does
in
that
Italy.
shtick, huh? He just walks around and does that thing.
Yeah, he curses people. That's right. You know about that
And on
Danhausen,
the
Dave?
Zaslow, well, that I know on the undercard for you is a trip to see Dave Matthews tonight.
We'll
My
see.
concern is if you're taking the lady, yes, if you missed earlier, Zaslow is contemplating surprising the misses with tickets to Dave Matthews tonight. Front row, he's assured all of us. Are you worried at all that you saying this into a microphone, that it's going out to the public, that this gets back to her and spoils your surprise?
No, it could totally get back to her, but that doesn't bother me because then it kind of helps me know if it's a good
groundwork.
idea. Yes, I want it to be a surprise, but do I want it to be a surprise? Because if she's not going to like the surprise, I'd like her to know about the surprise, and then I don't have to do the surprise, So I'm well aware, there's snitches at her school. I know about you snitches. And sometimes they'll tell her things. You know what happens to snitches, right? Roy, you know what happens to snitches?
Yes, I do.
They get hurt.
Yep.
They're snitches at my wife's school, okay? And if one of those snitches winds up telling her, what I'm up to, I'm actually okay with it right now because, if she doesn't want it, the word will get back to me, and there we go. But
Vanderbilt, maybe?
Not bad.
Ooh, I'd hate him there, too.
Not bad. So with all the OTAs, mini camps, and all of that going on right now, I don't know if you guys saw the Minnesota Vikings and what they have going on right now. The Minnesota Vikings, they have a quarterback competition, right? You got J.J. McCarthy, who's going to go into his third year as quarterback, and they also have Kyler Murray now, all right? So that's like a real quarterback competition. And Dave, have you heard this yet? As the quarterbacks I think it was 2 days ago, the quarterbacks, they both spoke. They spoke with the media. Give this a listen here. First, let me explain it to you. Kyler Murray is first asked about the relationship, what it's like working with, competition, J.J. McCarthy. Kyler Murray first is asked about it. And then J.J. McCarthy, same question, he's also asked, but very different answers.
It's been great. Obviously, I know he's a younger guy, so any way I can help him, obviously I feel like, I've played 7 years now, going on 8, so I'm considered a veteran, even though I don't see myself as that. Give him any knowledge that he needs. Again, we're both competitors, and I know, we both want what's best for the team.
Has he been receptive to hearing criticism?
Of course. Yeah, he's overly acceptive, and he's always communicating, asking questions, stuff like that, so it's been good.
JJ, what's your relationship been like with Kyler so far?
It's just like two guys in a classroom. He sits on one side, I sit on the other side, and it's the coach's responsibility to teach us and coach us. So,
is there any awkwardness between you two?
Awkwardness, it's just like the same feeling, when you're in high school and there's another person on the other side of the room. That's just kind of how it is. So I wouldn't say there's any awkwardness.
Dave, what the hell is those are two completely different answers.
Well, one guy knows he is going to be the starting quarterback, so he can afford the grace that Kyler Murray just showed there. J.J. McCarthy is pissed off, and I don't know if it's fair for that, but he's been sold that he is the franchise quarterback. I mean, this is year 3 for that guy. Really, you're doubling down on it if you're Kevin O'Connell and you're the Vikings. But if I were J.J. McCarthy, I would be saying to whoever is willing to listen behind those walls, like, can you get me out of here? Can you get me to a different, Pittsburgh needs a quarterback. There are a number of teams that need quarterbacks. Why am I still here if you want Kyler Murray? That would be my frame of mind.
Georgetown.
Yeah, Kyler Murray is saying the right thing, but he's clearly lying. Like, J.J. McCarthy's version is likely what is actually happening, but Kyler Murray is being a professional, and he's trying to make everybody look good, and he doesn't want there to be a problem. So he's saying, yeah, of course, JJ's very receptive to everything.
But what is JJ even saying? Like, even though you can clearly
He's saying
see
they don't talk.
that there's beef, is like, why are you saying you're on other sides of the classroom, just like in high school? That doesn't sound like a rivalry. It doesn't sound like two people going mano a mano. It just sounds like two guys just who happen to be seated in different places in the room.
Dave, I look at this and I'm like, wow. Kevin O'Connell, for as bright and for as well-managed that he's had that team, for the offense, the way that they run it, like all of the great, amazing things that Kevin O'Connell's done. This is a big stain on a, pretty clean resume, no?
This is a big thing.
That's right.
I mean, the Super Bowl MVP from last year, that's a big stain.
That's what
Sam
I'm saying.
Darnold.
But it's part of the same thing. They
Okay,
drafted
okay.
J.J. McCarthy, got rid of Sam Darnold, and they're like, this is the future. But, like, that's all part of the bigger conversation of this whole 9 situation is a big stain on his record, no?
There's no question about it. Kevin O'Connell has J.J. McCarthy, just as Kyle Shanahan has Trey Lance. These exceptions that prove the rule that they can turn anybody good. I think it's fascinating that Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings keep him around as sort of a double down or a fail-safe to Kyler Murray, who obviously they wanted, or else he wouldn't be on the Vikings right now, and they thought he would be better than J.J. McCarthy, or again, he wouldn't be on the Vikings right now. But there's a case to be made that I make all the time, which is that at this point in man's recorded history, or at least in pro football, that the offensive play designer and play caller is more important than the guy at the trigger. Who would you rather have if you're a Niners guy? Would you rather have Brock Purdy or Kyle Shanahan? Would you rather have Caleb Williams or Ben Johnson? Would you rather have Jared Goff or Ben Johnson? And I think that Kevin O'Connell, despite this, is going to make Kyler Murray work. I think the Vikings are going to be good. I just question now, why are you doing that? Is it your ego that you're embarrassed by J.J. McCarthy, so you want to keep him around because like we were talking about with Tua leaving Miami, if he goes and succeeds in Atlanta, that's a bad look for Miami. And so if J.J. McCarthy were to leave and arrive and be a starting quarterback and thrive in 2026, that would be a bad look for KOC, right?
Yeah, but then you look at the hubris of the play caller. You'd rather have the play caller than the trigger man, like you said. But then in the Trey Lance situation, you're looking at Kyle Shanahan like, do something with this guy. Like, he stinks. Like, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden, Brock Purdy comes in, Mr. Irrelevant. And then now the 49ers are great. Kyle Shanahan's a genius all over again. The same thing that happened with Caleb Williams, too. So it's like you need a bit of a push and pull, but it can't be the hubris of the offensive coordinator to just be like, yeah, I'm the guy. I can put anybody there and we can win.
And I think J.J. McCarthy still keep a good attitude about this and keep the optimism there, because let's not forget, Kyler Murray got replaced by Jacoby Brissett last year. He ain't having the most pristine time. Like, there's a competition to be had. And lastly, imagine if Shedeur Sanders said what J.J. said. Oh, my God, the world would be on fire.
We mentioned earlier how Tua going to Atlanta, is the Dolphin fan worried that he may have some success there? I'm not worried at all. Like, I don't think that's even remotely a possibility. But I do wonder.
Really? You don't think so? In a bad division with good weapons? You don't think Tua can do something?
I know what I watched last year. That is a washed-up quarterback. It doesn't bother me at all. He's not going to have any success. But I do wonder. Like, I feel like the Viking fan is probably afraid that Kyler Murray is going to have success in Minnesota. Not just because Arizona's a shit show, but also it's like Kevin O'Connell. I don't think the Dolphin fan is scared about Tua having success. I think the Cardinal fan is probably scared that Kyler Murray's going to go up to Minnesota and look really good.
Stanford?
I have to go back to Chris Cody here because I'm not sure that I knew this. I have to go back. So you're married to an identical twin.
That's right.
Okay, I have questions.
Go on.
First,
not too many questions.
Well, I know your father's sitting right next to me. It's a little weird. Okay, so first question.
No wonder they're into swinging at that house.
Were you always able to tell them apart?
Not at the beginning when we were just dating. Her sister has like a beauty mark on her face, so I was like, mine's the one without that.
Okay. My next question is, a lot of times, your wife or your girlfriend will be like, you think my sister's attractive, don't you? You clearly think her sister's attractive.
That's right. Undeniable.
If you think your wife's hot, you think her sister is hot.
My sister-in-law's hot.
That's
There, I said
crazy,
it.
right?
I've never said that to her before.
No, you got to say that, though.
Well, you must think she's hot.
But Zaz, here's the deal. Everyone with a hot sister-in-law thinks their sister-in-law is hot. He's the only one who's allowed to say it out loud. That's the difference.
That's true. That's true.
Not like the rest of us are like, oh, my sister-in-law is terrible. Like, if you got a hot one, you're like, oh, my God, she's hot, but you just can't say it out loud.
Yeah. And are they actually different?
They're very similar in a lot of ways.
So how'd you choose?
The other one was taken.
Papa Cody, wait a second now. You experience this. I mean, do you find one more charming than the other?
At the very beginning, I too had difficulty telling them apart.
But do you like, now that you've gotten to know, presumably both of them pretty well, do you think that your boy made the right choice between the two?
I have to say that. I mean, of course he did.
Oh, my goodness.
Of course he did.
Now.
I love my daughter-in-law, but they're eerily alike.
Now.
Not just physically.
What I'm about to admit now is a little embarrassing.
Go on.
There are times, in marriage, you're going through, you're like, it's just, this is
I don't like where this is headed.
I don't
I
either.
do.
Where sometimes you just like, if you're trying to keep things fresh, you just imagine it's the other person.
Oh, no.
That's an unbelievable admission.
That
What's the matter with you, man?
I didn't hear
Suey. Hey, guys in the room outside, mark that down.
For
Suey
the record,
revelation.
did everybody see as one of society's great empaths? Did you see me try to get in the way? Did you see me try to dive in front of that? He refused. He went. He plowed straight ahead.
He did.
You guys never struggle, huh?
Your wife clearly does not listen to this show.
Sure doesn't.
You got no worries
What
that
did you
this is
just
getting
say?
back to her.
Tony, how you feel about that admission?
Not great. Yeah, not great. Even though, admittedly, Chris says that his wife doesn't watch the show, which is good, right?
Very
so he
good.
feels like he can shoot from the hip here and not really be taken to task, like Dave said. Very good. But the issue is, sometimes some things are so flammable and so big that they peer through the veil of Chris saying, "Oh no, my wife doesn't watch a show," where she's like, "You said what?"
That was
Bigger than the show, man.
Bigger than the show.
Let's not clip this if we can.
That was an incredible admission.
It really
Greg,
was.
what did you make of all that?
A little bit unfortunate. I wish he hadn't said that. It could come back to haunt.
You guys never struggle.
Well, in the context of this show, you can always say, I was just kidding. Of course I was just kidding. But will she believe you?
I was.
Okay.
What is the Nick Bobic?
It's a 60s song. The name game. Nick Bobic. Banana Bofic. Me, my Momic. Nick.
Rosanna, Babana, Rosanna, Babana, Rosanna, Babana.
I'm the kind of guy that Nick. Who made it the salad? Hey, Butterfinger. Who made it the salad? Nick Bobic. Who made it the salad? Georgia.
That's not correct.
Very good.
It's a parrot that says very good out of the side of its mouth.
That's correct.
What does this have to do with the name game?
I'm not going to take a quiz.
Rosanna, Babana,
Who made it the salad? Me, my Momic. Let's go, States.
Babana.
We're rolling now, huh?
That's not correct.
Doesn't make it right. But don't go showering to try to please me.
Do you like breathing hot neck on the neck of hot?
Wow.
Are you turned on?
Do you like
Dangling.
breathing hot neck?
What's going on here?
Do you like
Sexy.
breathing hot neck?
You have been dry humped many, many times.
Intimate.
You have been dry humped many, many times.
A little pelvic thrust situation.
I like that.
Have you ever consoled a naked man before?
What does it feel like to get dry humped?
I saw pee-pee.
I've never consoled a naked man.
Breathing hot neck.
I've never consoled a naked naked man.
Many, many times.
I saw pee-pee.
People out there, stop sending me pictures of the hotel rooms with the chair, okay? Stop sending those to me.
I like that. I like that.
He was naked,
Intimate.
dangling.
I would hold that thing really tight.
How would you do it?
What's going on here?
Do you like
Sexy.
breathing hot neck? Do you like breathing hot neck?
I've been dry humps.
You never know.
I've been dry humps.
Many, many times.
I've never consoled a naked man.
You ever consoled a naked man?
I've never consoled a naked man.
Many, many times.
You never know. I like that.
You know what I'm talking about?
Chris Cody and Roy revealed this to me. And Roy, I don't know the context of what it is that you guys were talking about that revealed this about Chris Cody.
Yeah, Chris asked me what the sound from the first down for the Dolphins games were. And I said
It's just a noise I've made throughout my entire life. It's just like I just did it. Hoo-wah!
Yeah.
And to me, that's another Miami Dolphins first down.
Well, let's find out if your dad knows, because he's not a real moviegoer. Instead of impersonating the sound, do you have the actual sound? Greg Cody, do you know who's making this sound?
Hoo-ah! I do.
Clark Gable.
Come on.
It's the famous actor.
Rock Hudson.
Oh, this is great. He doesn't know it.
It's No, it's the famous actor. And I got to pin his name down because I don't think
You should be able to say this immediately.
I don't think it's Robert De Niro.
No.
But I think it's
in the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood. Give me a second. Robert De Niro.
Humphrey
Al Pacino.
Hey, there you go.
If someone said that in his headphones, you're fired.
Now,
No,
what movie?
nobody said
What
that.
movie?
It's APAC. What movie?
Streetcar Named Desire.
You.
So it's rare that I have a day off from doing anything, like to where I actually just have a whole day to myself. And it was really nice because yesterday I was able to catch up on some things that I haven't been able to do around the house, which included fixing our dryer, which has been broken for
Fixing your
2.5
dryer?
months. Now, I didn't fix it. I had to hire someone to do so
There you
because
go.
I am not a mechanical person.
There you go.
But one of the best feelings...
Like a real member of the tribe.
Yeah. No, come on. You think I can fix anything with my hands? Me? No, never. But one of the great feelings that can exist is when you hire someone to come do something that you know nothing about, and you leave that experience feeling like you weren't ripped off. Because most of the time I feel like somebody got something over on me here. But the price that was discussed is what you actually pay. They actually find a way to fix something with a cheaper thing than what you thought, maybe a part you were going to have to replace, and even recommend things you can do to maintain that appliance or things like that. So for me, my experience in this situation was huge. It helps my relationship with my wife. We can actually dry our clothes as opposed to putting them on a clothing rack like we're some sort of European family. And I think that's worth a toast.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Worth a
Okay.
Toast is
Yeah.
presented by Cuervo. Keep it
Yeah.
fun. Keep it Cuervo.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Thank you, Cuervo.
All right.
All right. How about that? I have a couple questions here to add. Well, actually, number one, I will let you know, I had a clothesline growing up. As a kid, we had a clothesline in our backyard. And, yeah, my mother, she would put the clothes on the clothesline. And, God forbid it starts raining. You got to run out there with the hamper, and you got to take the clothes off the
Right.
clothesline. Let me tell you something. I had a great backyard as a kid.
Yeah?
What'd
you have back there?
We had an orange and a grapefruit tree.
Oh, that's amazing.
Right?
That's actually really, truly great.
We had an orange and a grapefruit tree.
Did you make fresh squeezed orange juice
Of course.
and grape juice all the time?
Of course.
Oh, what
Yeah,
a life.
of course.
How do you
Dave,
deal
how
with the
about that?
artificial? I mean, come on.
Well, first of all, the best smell in the world is the orange blossom. Oh, twice a year it comes around and it fills the air in my heart, and it's the best. Grapefruit is a bad fruit, and it's also the laziest named fruit. You understand that when they were naming the grapefruit, they're like, what should we call this big orange orb? By the way, an orange is named the fruit orange preceded the color orange being named orange, which is, I think,
No way.
mind-blowing fact I've literally have ever heard in my life. The orange, like, what should we call it? The fruit was named orange before the color was named orange. I can't fathom.
I don't believe you.
Now dig what's true. You can look it up while you're trying to pick yourself up off the floor from that one. You know, so they're naming the grapefruit.
Juju, put it on the
you
poll.
know.
What came first, the fruit named orange or the color named orange? Go ahead, Dave.
It must have been about 4:58 p.m. on Friday when they were at the fruit factory trying to figure out what they were going to call the grapefruit. They're like, what should we do here? Like, I mean, grapefruit? Like, how could we call it a grape? Well, there's already a fruit called grape, and it has nothing to do with this giant orange circle. A grape, as we know it, is this oblong, smaller thing. Like, well, you know what? It's now 4:59. Let's just go with grapefruit. Let's get out of here. I'll see you all on Monday. That has to be the way it went down. How else would you explain that they did this not only lazy, but confusing act? We already have a fruit. It's the same thing as in football. You have two things called safety. It's not like we ran out of words. We just ran out of effort. Is real. So you have the last line of defense, the guy back there, the two guys back there, they're your last line. So if everything else goes haywire, at least we have the safety back there to clean things up. Okay, that makes sense. Now, when a 300-pound man falls on you on purpose in the end zone, that's not safe. That's dangerous. But they call it a safety, and then they give you 2 points for it, and then they make the most exotic symbol in all of sports for referees, the safety call, which salvages it, but otherwise it makes no sense. It's called a safety.
Juju, put it on the poll as well. Is the safety signal the referee gives the most exotic
I got news for you
symbol
here,
in
Zaz.
sports?
Why did he do it like walk like an Egyptian?
The earliest uses of the word in English refer to the fruit, and the color was later named after the fruit. Before the English-speaking world was exposed to the fruit, the color was referred to as yellow-red or red-yellow.
What the hell?
Orange, glad you learned that fact?
Oh,
I just bungled.
God.
No, that was so
Oh,
bad.
Kick her out.
Yikes.
Kick her out of here.
Give her the
Kick
laugh.
her out of here.
Give her the laugh.
That's what she comes up with after the cynicism about this. You, Trista, you did it too. Once you put your hands over your head like this, there's no choice but to do the walk like an Egyptian.
Wow,
Get out of
a
here.
penalty for that
She's
one?
got to go. Butchered it on the way out, too, on a bad joke.
Wow.
If you're going to land bad joke, at least land it.
Yeah, that was,
Also, I would want to put in, as an asterisk here, you got the safety gesture. I want to call the blocking foul one of the most exotic ones. You get one right here.
Can you, can
I'll do
I
your
ask
rebate.
you again, though, Tony, what is it you put? What was that word again?
An asterisk.
Okay. All right. Just making sure.
What do you think I said?
Nope.
So, two things I want to ask you then, Jeremy, about your experience. Number one, do you like it when you when you have the guy over? In your case, he's servicing the laundry machine, or maybe it's your AC that's being fixed or whatever. Do you like it when the guy who's doing it, he's explaining, like he's teaching you?
This is a great question.
Because I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't care about how all of this goes. That's why I hired you. You're the AC guy. I do what I do, all right? I'm not explaining to you how my work goes. I'm paying for the service. I want you to fix it. I'm not trying to learn anything about my AC.
No, this is a great question because
but it's like I'm going through a tutorial.
It depends on how condescending they're being, right? Because it's like sometimes it's like you should have known, and it's like, buddy, I don't know. I obviously don't know. If I knew, I wouldn't be hiring you to come.
But
do
it's like
this.
they're telling me there's this, and I feel the need. I'm nodding, like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But I do think this was a perfect example
shit.
actually of this working out in that this guy was explaining things to me when he was searching for the problem. He's saying, I wonder if it could be this. I wonder if it could be that. Then once he found it, all right, I'm going to fix it. And then afterward, the little bit of stuff that he explained was just, hey, for some maintenance, there are these pods you can get for your washing machine that you can, use these once a month. It'll help you maintain that. Hey, even for your dishwasher, I'll send you the Amazon links myself. All you got to do for me at the end of all this, hey, if you could write a Google review, that'd be great. Absolutely, man. Thank you for helping me out. Dave?
I think it's a tough call. What I'm picking up from Zaslow is, though, that he is enough of an empath that he feels bad doing the move. I have a really hard time doing it, but I try to force this. When they're fixing something, I feel like I should stand there.
That's my next question. That's my next question.
Be a part of it. But the move I'm trying to force, Zaz, is like, if you need anything, I'm in the room next door.
Right.
And then you just remove yourself from that, because I don't want to stand there nodding along like some sort of a dope or cuck,
I know.
as though I know what's going on. It's not my business. Just fix it up. My business is writing the check at the end of it. That's the end of our transaction. You'll find me in the other room when you're completed successfully with fixing this up. That's the end of the relationship.
It depends on how easy the conversation is going, and again, how talked down to I feel, because oftentimes it's happening during the workday, right? And sometimes this is actually a day where I am working from home and I'm trying to fit this in between. And so I have, in order to avoid one of these conversations before, I have gone to the clock in my phone and played the sound of one of the alarms that can sound like a ringtone, so that I can fake getting a phone call and then walk away and be like, hello? Oh, yeah. And then walk downstairs so they don't hear me. Yeah, I've done it before.
You cannot,
because I'm more willing to do that than to just be like,
Then just talk to
hey,
the
I'm
human
gonna
being
walk
that's
away.
That's there.
Oh
Be
no,
like,
I can
hey,
talk
buddy,
to the guy.
Let me know when you're done. I'm gonna be downstairs.
Yeah, I don't know
Taché
what
seems like the. Does Taché put? I could see him. He's the most likely of this group to put into a bowl some goldfish and put them out there for the repairman, right? To make him feel at home. Is that true? Zaz, do you do anything like that? Can I get you some chips? We have some pretzels.
No, I mean I'll offer them
maybe?
I'll offer them a water.
Water always. Yeah.
Sure.
But I'm not offering.
Well, I do that. Yeah, I'm a gentleman.
Cheddar goldfish.
No, he just offers for them to sleep with his wife.
Jeez.
Showstopper.
Dave Matthews show.
Stopper. Literally, I had a take, and it stunned me how on and also surprising that was. I think, though, you guys are doing it wrong. Because if you're going to be a true GC, that's general contractor for
She knows.
all those.
I follow Trish on social. If you don't know, she knows
all
what she's
the
talking
biz.
about.
Listen, I am doing a lot of work on my childhood home. And the thing that you learn very quickly is they're all a little dark web network. And they know each other, and they can refer you to other people. Listen, you're talking about a massive potential savings by learning what they have to tell you. And pushing back on, sometimes they're going to tell you things that you don't need. That if you've been keeping your eyes open, your third eye open, you know they're finessing you. Like, do I really need my furnace chimney to be removed? And now my HVAC estimate is $15K? Depends who you ask. And do I now know Dennis, who tells me he can get me a 25% discount and I get his wholesale price because his price is now my price because my mom made him a burrito and got him a 12-inch pizza? Also, yes, pause.
I didn't know where that was going. Zaz, you look to me like a guy that can do some stuff around the house. You call guys in to do the dirty work. You get there on a hammer and a nail, and you get up on a ladder and start hammering stuff. I see you as that kind of guy.
I do nothing. I'm Jewish. I don't take care of any of that stuff.
No, that's right. He's right. He's spot on.
So none of you guys in the tribe do anything
No,
handy?
it's why we make money.
You ever thought about it?
No.
Look, that's how I feel about the guy when I go to get my oil change and the brother pull up, bro, look at your air filter. I'm like, hey, asshole, put that back. Get out of this way.
Get me a new one.
Oh, man. All right, well, I'm glad you got everything fixed there yesterday, Jeremy. Good job.
Thank you.
I wanna touch on something serious here for a moment. No easy way to segue to it, but I want to do it anyway here. Terrible news yesterday, Dave. I know that you're very aware of this as well, where Claude Lemieux, who is an all-time great NHL player, great scorer, all-time instigator, bad boy in the National Hockey League, multi-time Stanley Cup champion, passed away yesterday, apparent suicide, that he was found in a warehouse in Palm Beach County here. that I guess his family ran a furniture business apparently down here. 60 years old, Claude Lemieux dies by suicide, and it's always shocking, but it's especially shocking when tonight is Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final between Carolina and Montreal, and in Game 3 in Montreal, he was the torchbearer. In Montreal, he's wearing his Canadian sweater. He played for them back in the 80s, and he is the one who had the lit torch and got the party started Game 3. And it's like, oh man, that's awesome. Claude Lemieux is lighting the torch, and he's pumping up the crowd. And 2 days later, dies by suicide. Absolutely shocking to hear yesterday, Dave. I don't know a good way to again. I don't know everything to say about it, but it's always shocking when someone passes away like that. You feel like, hey, what could possibly be wrong with this person? But then I started thinking yesterday, Dave, and like, man, we're watching him Game 3 go out there and he's lighting the torch, and that's an unbelievable moment, and I'm sure he enjoyed it. But what else is going on in his head in that moment? It must have been awful.
Well, you say you don't know exactly how to bring it up and what to say about it. This is nominally a sports show, and, he was a luminary for a long stretch there in a major sport, and so that alone makes it worthwhile. Yeah, it also reminds you, if you're wired, I guess, at least like my brain is, one of the first things you think of within 5 seconds after hearing that dreadful news and the details and all of that are like, man, I feel bad because I know nothing about Claude Lemieux, the three-dimensional human being. I do know him as somebody who rooted against him, against his teams. There is nobody in any sport who I dislike more than Claude Lemieux.
Easy player to hate. I mean, easy.
I hated him, and yet, then you consider, as you say, what was going on here, and the behavior a few days ago, with the smile on his face and carrying the torch. We've seen this, unfortunately, obviously, a number of times. It feels like in the last decade of known figures. Like what? That nothing based on what we see in public would indicate that anything bad with Bourdain, and we've seen this a number of times. I don't have any insight on it. Obviously, dreadful stuff, and it reminds you, like I say, that you're wired as a sports fan to be semi-petulant or otherwise, and deluded about what you're rooting for and rooting against and all of that, and then you sort of get a slap across the face like, oh yeah, he was a real man who had some real troubles apparently.
Growing up in the 90s, like I remember just those battles when he was with Colorado, and Colorado versus Detroit, and you had the Chris Draper incident, and he was like an all-time instigator, a bad boy. So easy to hate, so easy to root against. And he had a very famous incident with Darren McCarty, Avalanche Red Wings as well, right, Roy?
Yeah, Darren McCarty was Chris Draper's basically his best friend. So the year after the Avalanche won the Stanley Cup against Florida, the Western Conference Final, they played Detroit, and that's where he boarded Chris Draper.
And wasn't that when he said after the handshake line, and he said, I can't believe I shake that guy's
That was
effing
Dino
hand.
Cicerelli.
Okay. I can't believe I shake that guy's effing hand, right?
Yeah. So Darren McCarty,
because some guys didn't shake his hand in that line.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. The next year during the regular season in March, everybody had that date circled because Claude Lemieux in the couple games prior did not play. So when he went to Detroit, police showed up. It was like a riotous situation.
Yeah.
And
this wasn't just this wasn't a goon. This was a 40-goal scorer. Okay.
No.
This is a guy who several times in his career scored over 30 goals. He had a 40-goal season. This was a big-time player.
No, absolutely. And that incident did not even start with him. It was Peter Forsberg who started that incident. And then all of a sudden, Darren McCarty saw Claude Lemieux on the ice and just sucker punched him.
I got here, Darren McCarty tweeted out yesterday, just heard the news on Claude Lemieux. This is extremely sad, no matter what feelings from past or present you hold. My thoughts and prayers to his family and friends and people who got to see the person off the ice wasn't the person on. As I've said, and will always call it as I see it, quote, if you're on the ice with Claude Lemieux and you turn your back, you are an idiot. But off the ice, I'll turn mine. And please, if you're struggling at all, please reach out and talk to someone. Godspeed, my friend. Really nice message there from Darren McCarty. And it also just brings me back to last week. I know that we played this where you had that meatball Dana White who was doing the sit down with whoever the woman was and talking about mental health issues and that, how unattractive and unmasculine it is if you're a male. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to hear that. I'd like to hear if Dana White thinks that Claude Lemieux is manly enough, or if he's if he wasn't masculine, Claude Lemieux. I'd like to hear that from Dana White. What a stupid effing thing to say.
It was good that Darren McCarty and Claude Lemieux buried the hatchet. They did that ahead of a 30 for 30 or E60 special that ESPN did about that rivalry. So it was good to see.
Yeah, and to your point, Zaz, to me, and we've talked about this a lot on the show, there's nothing more human than being vulnerable. It's presently Mental Health Awareness Month. If you're someone that goes through this, any one of us is not quite there. I know I'm someone who's dealt with really high highs and really low lows before, and had to do a lot of work through therapy to get to the space where you can kind of even life out a little bit. But there's a lot of people who never get there. And if you're someone who's dealing with that, reach out to the people who love you. If you have people in your life who you love, reach out to them, because you never know what's going on, whether it's through the simple conversations that you're having via text that you think oh, we're all in a group chat together. Everything's fine. We're all just shooting the shit. Reach out to the people that you care about. Talk to them. This is a perfect time to do it going into the summer. Everybody has different things going on
Jeremy,
in their lives.
this reminds me, I saw, because, it is Mental Health Awareness Month, right? I saw this commercial that blew me away. I saw this commercial a couple weeks ago. It was for mental health awareness. And it was the commercial, like the headline was, you never know what someone's going through. And then it's showing, it's these two friends who are at a soccer match. Okay, apparently they have season tickets together, and they're at every week they're at the soccer match with each other. And you got the two guys there, and one of the guy, you could tell he's really reserved. Maybe he's sad, and the team scores a goal, and the friend is super excited. And the friend's pat him, and he, getting him excited. But the one friend, he's it's you never know what someone's going through, and every week it's the same deal where he's just kind of sitting there and watching the game, and the other friend is super pumped and super excited. And then the last clip is the friend who is sitting down and is you think is sad. It's the seat next to him then that's empty one day.
Yep.
And it was the friend who's super happy and super excited, and you don't know what that hit me.
It's a really beautiful.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
I did not know that was the direction.
When it's real life,
that the commercial was going.
It happens all the time, right? I mean, the textbook example is Robin Williams. I remember just being totally floored by the concept that someone as bright and who could bring so much joy and happiness to the world as Robin Williams would be feeling such dark things in his own state of mind. And so, someone like Claude Lemieux that is walking out there having a triumphant moment just a few days ago, just because this happened a few days later doesn't mean he wasn't feeling the highs of that. Those things can happen simultaneously. And so just because someone looks to be happy or having, a happy moment doesn't mean that those things might not be buried underneath. So if you're someone who's hearing any of this and feeling any of those thoughts yourself, 988 is the National Suicide Hotline. It's an incredible resource for people. And finding therapy and talking to the people you love is another great way to go.
I think that it's almost two different conversations in a way. I think if you're listening right now, Taché is you and you are Taché. I think it's a different thing with advantaged people that probably exposes them to different sorts of emotional issues. They probably don't get a ton of pushback for long stretches. I don't mean for, a good stretch in the playoffs. I mean, for 20 years, 25 years of your life, you're getting mostly backslaps everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And so it is unhelpful at best for Dana White to be shooting his mouth off, who has every advantage in the world and can be glib about things like that because he probably isn't an introspective sort and can slough off that sort of vulnerability and otherwise. But clearly there's a percentage of people that are three-dimensional human beings that have outwardly every advantage going for them. You know, Puka Nacua is, I think, now out of rehab, and now he's thanking the Rams for being there for him, and Sean McVay is saying it was really nice of Puka to open himself up to me like that. And forgive me, but I'm a little cynical about that. Everybody does not have. Taché is representing what most of us, the experience most of us have. There are not organizations forming to help us out, so you have to take the step yourself, I guess, is the takeaway, and ignore the dopiness multimillionaire council of Dana White, the meathead.
You mean organizations who are willing to just bypass biting women and anti-Semitic rhetoric because, hey, you know, he opened up to me. I'm proud of him.
Hey, they have a White House performance to plan.
So if we could segue to something a little bit more fun, and thanks for I guess everybody listening or watching. I thought that was important to mention about Claude Lemieux. If we could segue to something that is a little bit more fun. So on Mystery Crate today, right, we have Mystery Crate coming out this afternoon. I hope you guys you listen or you watch. We do talk about a movie that I saw at the beginning of the week. This new horror movie called Obsession. Oh, my, what a movie. Dave, have you seen it?
Everyone in my family has, and they all are gaga for
Yes.
it. My wife loves horror movies, and she's wild for this picture.
Yes. Every once in a while, a movie like that comes out. They're like, you never heard of it, and you didn't expect. It's just, you got to go see this movie. This is one of those movies, all right? Super low budget, and I love horror films. Didn't like it when I was younger because, like, I don't want to be scared. What am I be scared for? But horror movies these days, and I don't know how long it's been, but, you know, like when I was growing up, the horror movies were Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, where it's just horror film for the sake of being a horror film. Nowadays, you have horror films that these could also be good films. You know, that you got a drama that's a good movie, or a comedy or an action that's a good movie. There are also horror movies that are just legit great movies. And so me and my boys, we love the horror genre these days, especially from the studios like Blumhouse and like A24. And this movie, Obsession, is Blumhouse. It's like, oh, of course it's going to be good. You got to go see this movie. So I have a top 5 for Yas today. You ready?
Wow. Of
That's
what? Hold
right.
on. Of what?
That's
Oh,
right.
shit.
Top 5 horror movies since the year 2020 of our Lord. I don't want to do top 5 horror movies ever because I haven't seen all the horror movies, you know? So I'm doing recent horror films.
I can't wait to hear this, but also I'm sorry, I have to be a curmudgeon and say I don't know what the hell you're talking about. That old horror movies aren't worthy of awards, Academy, and otherwise. I mean, The Exorcist and The Shining, those are a couple of gems off the top of my head.
But I think you're right. But I think more often now there's a better chance now of also seeing a horror film made that is also a really good movie. I think it's more common. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I think it's more common now that we're not just focused on the shock value or the gore. We're also trying to make these really good movies too. Maybe I'm wrong.
Is 7 the start of that, do you think?
I don't,
because I feel like you could make a case that that's borderline a horror movie, right? It's got too, in a way, the stars are too big for it to be reduced or marginalized. It's just a horror movie, but if you really break it down, that's what it is. I mean, think about the deaths and everything.
Yeah, at best it's borderline. I think 7's a thriller. That's a suspense movie.
What about Little Shop of Horrors?
So I think at best that's borderline horror. I don't think, like, if we went to Blockbuster Video, I've used this example before, right? If you go to Blockbuster Video, now don't look for Blockbuster today because they don't exist anymore. But if we went to Blockbuster Video, you know, they have the placards, they're action, comedy. Like 7's going to be under the suspense. It's not going to be under horror, right?
Yeah, but in the same way that, forgive me, your beloved Pearl Jam and Nirvana begat that they have to wear the fact that the iterations that follow them are meeker, worse versions, like Creed. Creed doesn't happen without Pearl Jam, and I wonder if better, higher quality movies that are in the horror genre are sort of come from look at that. The audience will see 7. Look at that. They'll sit through.
I see what you're saying.
Just horrid stuff.
I see what you're saying. All right, so here we go. Top 5 horror movies since the year 2020. Number 5. Talk to Me. It's got a supernatural element to it. It's got some gore to it as well. These teenagers, they find this hand, okay, and if you hold the hand and you say talk to me, oh my, you get possessed by a demon, and it's like a high. Apparently, it's like taking drugs. So the teenagers, they're obsessed with it. Has anyone else seen Talk to Me?
I haven't seen Talk to Me, but I seen Idle Hands when I was a teenager. When the brother hand was just doing everything, that was pretty cool.
All right. That was very creepy what Dave is showing me here. Dave, have you seen Talk to Me? It sounds like you have if you're showing that prop.
I haven't, but you caught my interest when you mentioned a floating hand. This is the Hand of Fame. I was at Canton one time backstage while the guys in the gold jackets were going out there, and I said, forget the Hall of Fame. Will you sign my Hand of Fame? Mean Joe Green, Joe Namath, other luminaries.
How about that?
What is it throwing up? Is that GD?
Number 4. Yeah, look at that. It's going to throw up the shocker. Number 4. Smile. This movie is creepy as hell. You remember the promotion? That's when the characters in the previews, they have this really creepy smile. And Major League Baseball did this promotion with the movie where they had these extras who were sitting behind home plate, and they're just sitting there with a smile. Creepy as all hell. Like, if you didn't know that this was a movie promotion, like, can we get somebody to check on these people who are in the stands?
It worked on some of the audience was like, what the hell is going on? I remember that in social media. Like, do you see the weirdo behind home plate? I think I got by that. Yeah.
Now, there is a Smile 2. Really good also. It's not on my top 5, but Smile coming in at number 4. That movie is crazy. Okay, number 3. Black Phone. There's a Black Phone 2, which came out recently. I enjoyed it very much. But the original Black Phone, Ethan Hawke, he plays he's like a kidnapper, all right? Kidnaps children, kills them. It takes place like back in the 70s, I believe. There's a supernatural element there as well. But this that's a great horror/suspense movie. Has anyone seen Black Phone?
Oh, yeah. Ethan Hawke is
right?
amazing.
That's a really good movie. Very creepy. Why are you shaking your head no, Trista?
This movie right here was when I developed the take that you should not be allowed to play horror movie trailers for sporting events. I have not opted in. I have not consented. You want to get your little horror preview off, do it in the theater with other horror shit, okay? Like, I'm trying to see Wembanyama. I don't need to be like, Black Phone, are you ready to play a game? And I'm like, no, dude, not at all.
That's fair, actually. Yeah. Kids don't want to see a preview for a movie about kidnapping kids. I'm just trying to watch basketball here. That's fair. All right, number 3 was Black Phone. Number 2, Weapon.
Yeah.
What a movie.
What an end scene, huh, Zaz?
Oh, my. It's hilarious, the end scene. But it's second half of this movie is a comedy, if we're being honest here. But overall, it's a horror. On Gladys, you never saw that coming. I love Julia Garner. I mean, in Ozark, oh, my God. She is fantastic. And this, Josh Brolin's great. You've never seen a movie like, why are the kids running into the darkness?
What are the kids doing?
2:17 in the morning. What are they doing? Weapons. What a movie. That's
the scariest part of Weapons to me, and the saddest part, spoiler alert, so skip
Go
ahead.
on.
Spoiler alert, is when they were at the table and the little kid saw his parents and Miss Gladys did this and they just start forking their faces. I was like,
that was wicked.
She's a witch. She's a witch. All right, that's number 2. And number 1, top 5 horror movies since the year 2020.
But no spoilers, though, right?
No spoilers.
No, it's not a spoiler. That's not a spoiler. It's just
No spoilers.
Put the alert out there.
Number 1, Obsession.
You're already giving it number 1 status?
Number 1 horror movie. This movie is phenomenal. I'm telling you, got to go see it. The lead actress, I don't even know her name. I've never seen her anything else before. She should get an award. She's phenomenal in this movie. Creepy as hell. I mean, some of these scenes make you really uncomfortable. Why the hell?
What is the plot?
Okay, there's a supernatural element to it. I'll give you. No, you can hear the plot, Juju. It's not a spoiler. And so there's like a wishing willow. Okay, it's like a bullshit toy. A wishing willow, and you get one wish when you have the wishing willow. And the kid he wishes that his longtime high school crush would love him more than anything in the world. That's the movie.
More than anything
boy.
in the world. Be careful how you word things.
That's the movie. It is the ending is wild. The whole movie's wild. All right. So Obsession. That's it. Number 5, Talk to Me. Number 4, Smile. Number 3, Black Phone. Number 2, Weapons. And number 1, Obsession.
So your boys are into the horror genre.
Yeah, we
Have
love
they
it.
talked to you about Backrooms yet?
My younger son has seen it tomorrow. He
Okay.
can't wait. He's been waiting for
Me
months.
too.
He's telling me about the Backrooms lore. He knows
Yes.
all about it.
Dude, your kids rock.
Yeah. When
Good dad.
I
You're a good
started
dad.
taking both of them, like when my older one was a little bit younger, and we'll see like a really violent scene. It'll be covered. It's like, you open your eyes right now. You watch all of this.
So the Backrooms, Dave, I don't know if you're familiar with what the Backrooms are, to give you a little bit of the lore.
I don't even know. I
it's
just know
great.
I want to see this movie.
Okay, so imagine, I don't know if you've maybe stumbled across this on social media or not, but there's like, imagine being in like a dream state where there's like a room, but there really isn't an exit, and you're kind of like walking around, and it looks like an office building with fluorescent lights, and you're just like trying to find the exit, and you can't. It's almost like
And Billy Crystal is there.
All of a sudden, Billy Crystal shows up, your wife's there, and you're like, whoa! Did not consent to this. Where's the door? Long story short, in the Backrooms, there is no door. It's like a maze that goes on for eternity of this. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing this.
It's. I want to see it tonight with my wife. I'm trying to get the baby to get dropped off, maybe at the grandma's house.
I'll go tomorrow with my son if he doesn't ditch me to go with a friend. But
And we can report back next week, me and you.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Backrooms. If you're very interested in something that's a little bit, it's not like horror, like jump scare, but it's more of a psychological horror. Being stuck in somewhere you can't get out of. Maybe like J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota.
So there you go. That is the list right there. Want to leave you guys with a snippet from the latest South Beach sessions. As Dan, he did a sit-down with the comedian who's very hot right now, Robbie Hoffman.
Hey.
All right, I want to go through the timeline and the biography. 9 siblings sounds crazy. Like, that sounds like a household that's nuts.
It's nuts.
What are the details that are worth sharing on what you remember of fighting for everything with 9 siblings?
I mean, it was really everything, Popsicles came in boxes of 8. My mother only bought 1 box. We were 10 kids. So it's kind of like musical chairs with popsicles. At some point, 2 people didn't get. So it's like that. Unless it was a steep sale on the popsicles, a 2-for-1 a BOGO. She wasn't buying 2 boxes. So it's everything. It's my bath water. It's, I remember at 7 finally speaking to my mother and saying, I think I'm ready for my own bath. I can't take a bath with these animals. They're pissing. My brothers would piss. And I said, I'm 7 years old. I think it's, gray bath. I think it's fine. I have my own bath. Even 10 minutes. I'm not asking much. I can't shower with these animals. I mean, look at them. The penis it's just like another shower. I don't need this. It's like I'm not even getting clean in there. They're disgusting. So things like that, just a ton of us being in the bath. The toothbrushes were really grimy. That sticks out. I remember we had like a blue sink, those old porcelain, We moved into my great Uncle Eddie's house, so nothing had been renovated. But my mother had like a jar of our toothbrushes and just the petri dish of the toothbrushes, 15 toothbrushes, God knows. She was trying to swap them out. She always tried, but at a certain point, So I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint specifics because the whole thing was different. That's why I say, like, in my relationship, Gabby and I we're similarly cut in that we don't come from money. She grew up a little more, marginally, under better circumstances, but she was a military brat, moved around a lot. So, it's a give and take. But, yeah, dating outside of your class or how you grew up, to me, feels like a huge dating outside of the faith for that reason. Because if you both grew up poor or stretching things, you understand the day in and the day out of that. It's a whole lifestyle. Versus if you grew up rich, it's like everything is different. It's just a totally different world.
All right.
You heard that, Zaz?
But mainly Zaz.
Sing it, Jeremy.
That's right. Sounds like Jeremy, too.
It does sound like
the new Mystery Crate theme song, written not by Jeremy.
Written by Jeremy.
Written by me.
Written by Jeremy. Okay. Written by Jeremy.
Performed by AI.
Performed by AI. Also,
Miserable.
One of the biggest songs on the planet right
This
now, performed
sucks.
by AI. Puerto Rico.
Everything's a nightmare.
We're going to listen to that. Zaz has never heard it. We're going to
We're
listen
all
to that
gonna
on the
die.
show today. Also, Zaz gives a Euphoria update. Chris Cody?
I do everything.
What do you mean by that?
Just everything. I can't even think of it. I did so much.
You did so much.
Yeah.
I give a 1-star review, and then I bring in Kirsten, who will back up.
Yeah, we have a huge
ability
debate
to pick food, yes.
over how many stars a restaurant needs to have on its Google reviews for you to be able to go there.
And
It is electric.
And despite that, you should still listen.
Electric.
Mystery Crate. Check it out.
It's the making of a Miami mafioso. We talk about how good politicians go bad because you don't change the system changes you. And speaking of bad politicians, Miami Congressman Carlos Jimenez has a challenger. That is retired Navy Commander Phil Ayer. He joins us, all new because Miami.